All right, recording has started in the session. Let's see. All right, recording has started, and in the session, Margie will be showing us how to review disclosures, documents, what to look for in the signatures, and walking us through SkySlope. Okay, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay. Let me go into a file here. Are you going to, are you going to need a list of what disclosures are required, or do you already know that?
A checklist would be great. We don't have a list yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Marcus didn't really specify exactly what I was going to be doing, so I didn't prep anything for this. So I'm sorry. I'm kind of winging this right now.
Oh, yeah.
I do not have a standard list, but if you go into SkySlope, you're going to see a list of documents here, and it's going to tell you if it's required or not. And so you'll have everything, contingency removals, extensions, addendums, requests for repairs. And this is just all contractual items pretty much. And then down below you have disclosures, Avid, home warranty, everything here. And then this, and I'm sorry, am I training on SkySlope too, or just the disclosures?
Marcus asked you to walk us through disclosures and also SkySlope.
Okay. So, and then down below here are the reports. So let me make a bogus file because I feel like that might work the best. Okay. If you have a sale, say our agent is representing a buyer, then you're going to go to Manage Transactions. And as you can see here in SkySlope, it does say how many are closing this month, active, how many are pending, active is listings, how many are closing this month or closed, and then how many are expiring. And then again, here's your listing. So if you have a buyer pending, you're going to go to Manage Transactions. And Manage Transactions, Manage Listings are pretty much the only thing you're ever going to go into, unless you archived a file, which is when it's closed, then you would go here. So I'm going to click on Manage Transactions.
Sorry, and obviously Manage Transactions is if we're representing the buyer. Manage Listings is when we're representing the seller.
Yes, and if I go to Manage Listings, you're going to see all here, and then what you do is you click this little check mark, and it'll take you to the exact same screen that we're going to go into in Manage Transactions. And then you'll just complete all the information. So I'll create the bogus file. So the first thing that's going to pop up is search for address. And as you can see here, it auto-populates. So I'm not going to type in anything because this is a bogus file, but you want to be sure to search the address in that field and select Google, and it will auto-populate the address into this form here. So now we're just going to select the agent. If we don't know the MLS number, it's not a big deal. Just throw in a couple zeros there. We'll go the source. So Marcus Marcus and Roger, like to know the source of where their client came from. If it came from a lead within within the office from another agent, we need to know if it came from prospecting, Facebook, anything like that. We want to punch in here. So normally it is a prospect, but you can go to Infusionsoft and find that information. And Marcus didn't say anything about that, so hopefully, you know, if it's a lead or not, then you're going to put yes or no. Let's just go ahead and put yes. Closing date, let's say March 30th. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay. Turn that down, please.
So Margie.
So again, it's yes.
Oh. So let's say Marcus is representing a buyer, the offer is accepted, and he would send some information over and say, go ahead and create the file in SkySlope, and then here we are, right? I just wanted to start from the beginning, just to be clear. Okay.
So if it's a sale, if he's representing the buyer, then you would click on Manage Transactions. And if he's representing the seller, you click on Manage Listings. Marcus he doesn't really send his listings too early on, so there's not going to be a lot of listings in there because I normally get the listings when it goes pending. So you want to, always check Manage Listings first, but if it's not in there, then you just go to Create New Listing. And then once you're done creating that listing, you can go to Manage Listings again and click on that Accepted Contract. And I can show you that if you need me to do that.
Okay, great.
So since we're representing the buyer in this transaction, then you're going to click Sale. If he was representing the seller, then you can go Listing Sold because it would be his listing and he's selling it. If he's representing both buyer and seller, then that's when you would click both Listing and Sell. Okay. And you won't ever have to use this unless he wants it in the file, but I haven't done that. So you won't use other referrals. So again, it's buyer, it's sale. We're going to do, let's say 1959. If you have an escrow number, you're going to put it. And you don't need to put the APN number unless you want to. And then acceptance date.
Is that the tax? Is APN referring to tax?
I'm sorry?
Is APN referring to tax? Just curious.
No, APN is the property parcel number. So it's like a tax ID. Okay. And agents use this to pull up information in order to see details about the property. And they're able to create that little MLS number that we have here. So it's a tax number. It's a tax property ID number.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
I'm sorry, I have my son today, so if it's too loud in the background, please let me know.
Oh, it's fine. Thank you.
Okay. So after we click next, it's pretty nice because you can see all of this already in there for you. Now you're going to enter the seller, the purchaser. I like to enter as much information as I can on this. And I always search my contacts first because it's more than likely they're going to be in the system. And if they're not, then we can go down here and enter it. So let's say, David. Okay, so we have a seller here. I can click on that and it will auto-populate. And if you don't see his name there, then you would just fill out all the red buttons and make sure you click Save. Once you're done, you're going to click Next and you're going to enter the purchaser. And again, this is our buyer, so we're going to enter the required phone number, and we always want to enter the email address that we have for the client. So when we're sending DocuSign or disclosures to them, then we have that information. And if it was the seller, then all the seller information would be required: seller phone number, seller email address. So I'm just going to go ahead and put if you don't have a phone number, you can just put some zeros in there. It'll still go through. If you need to add, another thing too, if you need to add another seller, add another purchaser, then you're going to click down below where it says new purchaser or new seller, and then it'll give you the same exact block here that you can complete. If you need to edit, and change something, you can do it all here, and then once you're done editing, you can click on save. Hold on one second. Okay. Click next, and then we're going to enter title information. Marcus usually uses Wendy, so her information's already auto-populated as well. If it's not in there, then again, you're just going to manually type it. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you enter it here or if you enter it here. It's going to be one or the other, so you're only going to be looking mostly at one contact.
Okay, so title escrow is usually at the same place.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So then you click next, and now you have the agent representing the other side. Again, this is all the red asterisks here. Those are going to be required. I also like to put in the broker ID number just for my records, and then also email. And I also put the other agent's TC here. So I always put CCTC, which is transaction coordinator, and then I put their email address here. That way, whenever I send an email, I know that I need to CC their transaction coordinator as well.
Okay.
So let's just put in a name here. And I'm just making up random stuff just so you can see it,
yeah.
Obviously. So now from here you can submit. But what I like to do again is make sure I have all the information. So I'll click on next. I'll add the lender. Normally the lender is Grace Davis. She's already auto-populated again. If not, then you can, again, manually enter the information. Click save. There's also this little button here.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Sure.
Okay, I'm back. So you'll see here, if it's a cash deal, you're going to click on NA cash deal, which basically is saying there's no lender in order to, you don't need the pre-approval or they don't need certain conditions, in which case you click on cash deal, and then you don't even have to fill this out.
Okay.
Next, home warranty. I always do this. I look at the contract and I see if there's a home warranty. If there is, then I put as much information as I can in here. If I don't know who the home warranty company is going to be, then I just put, usually it says seller or buyer to pay, then I'll just put seller to pay $400. And then that's my little note knowing that there is a home warranty and I need to follow up on it.
Okay. And Margie, the contract, is that usually sent to you via email?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you need me to go over the contract to find certain things, just let me know. You can do that.
Okay, that would be great.
And click next. And then miscellaneous contact. This is where I like to put my contact. You don't have to do it, but it's a good way to know who's actually transacting the file. So I personally like to put my name there. Or you can put the other TC's name there. So however you're going to remember. So once you're done entering all the information, you're going to click submit. If there's something missing, then SkySlope will let you know. A little pop-up will show that you can't proceed unless certain fields are completed. But for the most part, anything, as long as you filled out the red asterisks, you're going to be able to move ahead. So now you're going to click submit.
Okay, great.
So now it brings you to the commissions tab, and this is where you're going to enter your sales price. You're going to make sure it's correct. And then how much, since again we're representing the buyer, we want to put how much the buyer sale commission is going to be. So we're going to put whatever it says on the MLS or whatever the agent tells us it is going to be. You don't need to fill out the listing commission unless we represent the seller. If you want to, go ahead. It's not going to hurt. If it's a referral, you can put it here. Is it a personal deal? No, because we put that as a lead, and it's not. He's not representing himself in this case. If he was representing himself, then you would click yes. And then, you know, you can put your TC admin fee. I'm just going to put a bogus number here. Your name. And that's all you have to do. You don't even really need to enter all this. You could just enter a sales price and sales commission and then click submit. Voila, now you have a checklist. You have a documents tab, a log tab, a task tab, and a property tab. You won't use this as much, and you won't use the log as much. So property and log, I won't go into too much detail because it's not really I can't think of the word, irrelevant. The first thing that I do after I set it up is I add my task, and I generated this task list. And if you're logging in to Marcus, you are able to update it, but it's something that has to be done on the back end. So if you go to import template, you're going to see a listing task list, and this basically is for if we represent the seller. It's going to bring up when the modification of terms are due. So it auto-populates certain days before it's due, just so you know. So it's our reminders. But since we're representing the buyer, we're going to go to pending task list. We're going to import template. And this is me. So even though it says, would you like to assign all these tasks to yourself or to Marcus, I'm going to click me. And here you see I'm going to click on, buyer's final walkthrough. It's 7 days before closing date. And then here I have my email address. So all these little reminders here are going to come to me. And all these reminders too, you can change. So say you have a 10-day closing and you don't need, a lot of this stuff, you can delete it. You can change it to where it's 5 days, however you want to do it. And then also here you can click what day you want to put. So you can put, here, file creation date, acceptance date, closing date, listing date, expiration date, and then you can click here on or before that date and just enter the days. Once you do that, it's going to auto-populate here. So if I change this to 10, you'll see this date changes here. If I need a reminder, before 3 days before, then it's going to change here, and you can change the name here. I don't know. Check on. Oops. That did not work. Oops. I don't know why I did that. Sorry. So you can edit these dates, whichever is going to fit into the purchase contract that you receive. If you click on New Task, it'll bring up a blank box here. Now this task is going to only go to the agent, so I like to utilize the reminder button And you need to make sure you are on reminder, and you'll know because task only lists agents. It will not list you as a TC. So you will not get any reminders. It will go straight to the agent. And Marcus does not like too many emails coming into his thing. So I always make sure I'm doing reminder.
Okay.
Here you can add anything you want. If you need help following up on a home inspection, you can type it in, you know, home inspection. We're going to order it 7 days after we created this file, or after acceptance date, I should say. I want the reminder to come in at 7 a.m. I'm going to put who I want the reminder to go to. In this case, I'll put myself. And you can even put in a little note here. And then you just click save. Do you guys have any questions regarding the task?
No, that's pretty clear. Sheena, are you clear on this part so far?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So once I'm done entering all my key dates, I send out my intro letters to all parties involved if I have it. So in this case, I represent the buyer, so I'll definitely send one to the listing agent. I'll send one to the buyer, I send one to the lender, and I send one to escrow. Just introducing myself, letting them know who I am and what I do in the transaction, asking them to confirm the dates that I have, stuff like that. So so here's the document. There's a couple ways you can upload. You can email into this little unique address here, or you can manually upload the document, whichever you prefer. So let me just pull out an old contract of some sort.
Yeah, turn that down, please.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. My son, he's listening to the iPad so loud I can't even focus.
No worries. We can hear you pretty well.
Okay, that's good. He's moving now, so.
No worries.
How do you find a contract? Let's go ahead and use this one. It's not, it's not accepted, it's not signed, but we'll just play off of it. So I want to email into this address. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm sure you guys are already familiar with the shortcut. If not, then you can manually type or right click, copy, and then paste. So I usually just email everything into the system. So you're not going to see it here. You actually have to move between tabs in order to see the document in there. So I usually just balance between, it doesn't matter, any tab. It should be in there by now. It's pretty quick. If it's a huge file, it could take longer. So see here, it's not here yet. And I'll show you how to manually upload. Oh yeah, see, it's a big file, so. So I'll click Upload Document. I'm going to pull my item that I just filed. And you'll see Upload in Progress. It will tell you if it's successful or not. It'll be all green, or it'll say, I'll have a big X on it saying it was not uploaded properly. See now our email, this is our original email that we sent, that we forwarded it in, and this is what we uploaded. So the good thing about this is you can preview. So if you have items in there that are titled all wonky, you can just preview this. If you just put your little hand over it, it's going to bring up a preview screen. So that way you know what documents are in there. This is good to use in case there's duplicates and you don't need those duplicates. So you can just scroll, or if you're looking for something, you know, you could just scroll to that page and find it and you'll know what's in there. Then you don't have to waste your time with the next step I'm about to show you.
Okay.
But since this is a new offer and we're just starting the file, once you uploaded everything that you have, you're going to go into the split folder. It's just bringing up the document that we just uploaded. It doesn't get any bigger than this, so I'm very sorry, guys, but if you want to see it, you're going to have to zoom in on your screen and kind of move it with here back and forth. Now, this one does contain some disclosure, so I can go over it a little bit later, but right now I'm just going to show you how to split and assign a document. So here we have the agency disclosure. This is between the buyer and what is supposed to be the seller. Again, we're just playing this as ratified. It's not signed by the seller, so it's not actually in contract, but this is a test file, so we're just going to pretend it is. So this is the agency. This goes to 2 pages, as you can see. We're going to click page from 1, page 2. And everything's abbreviated here, abbreviated. If you don't know the abbreviations, you can also type agency, and I'll bring up what they have. And you're going to click on that.
Oh, cool.
Then you could keep going down. This is possible representation. We keep it 3 to 3 because we only need that one page to be assigned. Click on that. And most disclosures have a name right here, so it's super easy to find. Now here's a perfect case. The wire fraud advisory is not actually a task in itself. So in this case, I usually rename it, and I like to put the abbreviations as well with it, just so it matches the rest of the file here. See how it's AD, PRBS, and then the name.
Mm-hmm.
So you just keep going down and you keep splitting your documents. This is your purchase agreement, another 10 pages. And it also has the BIA, and that is one of its own tasks. So if you just let's type it in just so you can see. There it is, purchase agreement and buyer inspection advisory. And you just click on that. And I'm going to show you this one as well, because this one does not have its own task. So I think that's all I'm going to show you for right now. Do you have any questions as far as splitting page numbers? I am going to go into what it looks like after you split and assign. But do you guys understand the whole page numbers?
Yeah, so we have to review everything, and we'll see clearly if a new section starts by the title and just name each section and split them.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sheena, do you have any questions on this?
None so far, Kelly.
Okay.
I can go ahead and finish splitting this out if you guys just want to see. It's up to you.
I think we get the gist of it. Just go through the entire document, move through every single page and split it up. You mentioned that you would show us a document that's already split up.
Yes. So I'm going to show you what it looks like after I do it. So why don't I just go ahead and finish this out really quickly.
Okay.
Okay. So I always hit split and assign. Now you can split and then manually pull the item you want to add to each task, but that takes forever. So if you do split and assign, you're going to see here what happens. So everything that was assigned, anything that was basically popped up in the auto-populate box, those documents will be assigned to the task or to the checklist. And then all the remaining documents that didn't have their own auto-populate or section to place into, they're going to be shown as nothing. They're not attached to any checklist. So when I do return to docs. You can go to checklists, but I always do return to docs because there is always normally a document that's not assigned or I need to put it in to the correct field myself. So as you can see here, this means that it's assigned to the checklist. I have these, they're in there. And then you're going to see here that these are not assigned because they have no placeholder. So in that case, if you go to checklist here, now we have this pending. I'll show you what's still needed. There's our home and roof. Now I'm going to go here and remember there was an addendum in there, but it wasn't titled Addendum 1. It was titled Addendum A. Normally what I do is I will attach it into this section here, or you do have the option to add new. So if you wanted to add a name for itself, then you can do that. So let's say, let's do wire fraud advisory, since we know that one did not have their own. We're going to click done. Now it's ready. So you can click attach. And now it's going to pull up all the documents that are not assigned. You will not see anything that's already assigned in this upload document section. And there's a couple, again, there's another way. You can either manually upload from your desktop. So say you prefer to split something out in a different tool, then you can save it to your desktop and you can upload the document, you can pull it however you prefer. But if you see it in there, then here's that WFA. We're going to just click sign. And there it is. So let's see, addendum. I'm going to attach my addendum A. So now I'm going to add new. So again, you see here they're split up. So these are contractual items. These are disclosure items, reports. If you have a report that's not listed here, then you would click next to reports, add new, and the same with the disclosures.
So during that split document function, it puts everything we're supposed to except for like a few random ones, and then we just kind of manually place them into the checklist where they belong.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if you know you have signatures, you can accept it. If you know you have everything dated, all the BRE numbers, everything's in there, you can click accept. I'm not sure if Marcus is going to be reviewing or Roger is going to be reviewing. I normally review my own only because I've done a file review before, so I know what to look for. And then if you want to just leave it, say you need a signature, you can leave it in here. So like, say you need, let's rename this. You can rename your document. So if you know you need a signature and you don't want to assign it yet, you can click on rename it and just put need, buyer or seller. Need seller, click on save. I don't let you do that. There's no characters here. Now it should save. And I like to use this function if I need a signature. I do not ever add anything that needs signature to the checklist. So basically anything that is ratified, everything's there, signed by the buyer and seller, then I assign it to the checklist. Everything else, I rename what it is. So if I have an NHD signature page and it needs the listing agent signature, that's how I title it. And then when I go to do my audit, when I get my audit reminder, then I could go into the file and see which signatures I need and then just pull it out. There's a couple ways that you can pull the document out. So if you want to email it to somebody, say have a couple signatures missing from the listing agent, so then you can just click on the little boxes that you need. And right now I'm just kind of giving you an example. You could click on email, and then you could just type in whoever you want to send it to. Now you do have to remember that this is coming from Marcus SkySlope, so it's going to look like it's coming from him. I highly suggest you email it to yourself, and then you can forward the document to whoever you need signatures from. So you can forward that attachment to the listing agent, the listing agent in this case. Do you want me to show you, or do you?
That's understood. For messages, are there templates we can use that it's already pre-typed in there, something like asking for signatures, or do you use that at all?
I wish there was, but there's not. However, there is a nice little tool that you can use. You go back to your checklist. Let's see. So say you need seller initials. Let me cancel this. Oh my gosh, cancel. Okay. We're going to, where'd it go? Why is it doing that? No. Sorry, hold on. Need. Sorry, you want to, if you're going to send this, what I'm trying to do is make it so you can send this whole list to somebody rather than if you wanted to type it all out and, send an attachment. I normally don't like to use this. I like to download and manually type my list. But if you didn't want to do that, then you can just click save You do need from buyer, save, and they all come in purple. So if you're going to send this list, I highly suggest you do hit that reject button if it doesn't signature and it's in there, or make sure you make your little notes. Even if it was here, you could put need from seller. So now when you email that list, I'll show you what it looks like. Can you come up? Nope. So I'm using one finger today right now.
That's right, you're on the
Yeah,
phone.
see, there are no, yeah. So there are no templates here, but you can put see list of items needed. And again, this is the only reason why I do not like to send this list, is because it's going to show everything that we need. And we just want to, if we need the buyer signature, that's something we could take care of right now because we're representing the buyer. But if we need signatures from any outside party, we just want to send them what we need from them. They don't need to see this whole list right here.
Right.
And that's why we never, I never use this function, because even sending it to my agent would be pointless because I'm their TC, right? I'm the one who needs to take care of all these signatures. Why do they need to see it? But I'm just going to go ahead and show you what
it's better
looks
to
like.
just have the document that's split manually and then just send it out with a typed message in the email.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not pulling up on my spam. Nope. Maybe it's taking a minute. Well, anyways, when it comes in, it's going to look like this, but it's not going to have these check boxes. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. These paper clips, these X marks. Yeah. It's not going to have this. It's just going to have this list right here, and then your notes. Again, there's no way to differentiate what is needed. So that's why I always recommend just going to the document and either sending them for their convenience what needs to be signed by their party, or just writing the list. And then they could say, oh, you know, I don't have addendum 2. Can you send that to me? Then you can go back in here and send it to them. I normally, again, I like to attach everything I have that needs signature, so it's there for their convenience. There's no back and forth in the file. Let's go back. Any questions on the documents or the checklist or?
Not so far. It's pretty clear. So this will pretty much track everything. Let's see. I have about 10 minutes left in our session today, Margie. Would you want to schedule a different time to go over disclosures and signatures?
Yes, because that alone in itself is going to be time consuming.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So today's training is all about SkySlope documents, how to set reminders, splitting documents. Is there anything else in SkySlope that we should know about that you could show us?
Sure. Let me go ahead and show you and just kind of wrap it up in the last 10 minutes you have. If you ever lose an email and you are CCing your file, because all communications you want to CC into that email, or if you're sending an audit requesting items, you want to CC that email there. As long as you do that, you're going to have every email that you've ever sent in here. You're going to be, say you're like, oh, no, I know I sent that, walkthrough thing. Where is it? Where is it? You're going to look. It's all here. The only thing it doesn't show is sometimes what the email actually says, but it'll show that it has an attachment or not. Again, you'll probably never need to use that. And this, you'll never use that as transaction summary. But let's go back. I'm going to show you how to close it out. So say you have all your documents uploaded, you're ready to go, complete. You're going to go to Manage Transactions. Again, that's where all your pending is. Here's that one that we did. This is cancel transaction, just so you know. So if you get a cancellation, you're going to click right there to cancel the cancel it. So if you're going to close it, you're going to click on the property, and you're going to click on this button. Escrow now closed. It's going to ask you for the date. You don't want to archive the file unless it's 100% complete, and then you just click close file. And that's it. And then I am going to show you how to cancel the file since this is a focus and I don't want it to show it closed. We're going to go to that canceled transaction. It's going to say, why are you canceling? In this case, force test. We're going to fully cancel it. Now, just so you know, if it's a listing, it's going to say, do you want to fully cancel? You're still going to click yes. And then what it's going to do, and this is the great thing, if it's a listing pending that falls out of contract, it's going to ask you, would you like to reactivate the listing? You're going to say yes. Once you do that, you don't have to re-enter the listing again. It's going to auto-populate the brand new listing for you, so you don't have to deal with that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. There you have it, and I will show you one more trick since we have time. See, now it's asking me to delete tasks. You're going to just click yes, delete any open task. And I'm just going to show you one more little trick. Let's go to document. So you don't want to send everything in a PDF. You want to create a link, or if anybody asks us for a link, you can actually just click on here. And this is a fairly new feature that they added. You click on Share Docs. You can name your bundle. So if you just want to put, you know, RPA items, which is purchase items, however you want to do it, you're going to click Create. And then you just copy link, and then you can email it over to whoever you want, and they can view the document. And it will look just like this in an email right here.
Oh, that's awesome. Kind of like the Google Doc link sharing. Yeah.
Exactly like that. And that is, I believe, pretty much it.
Okay,
yeah,
so
you won't
that's
have
it
to
for
use.
SkySlope. Okay.
And then if you guys want to go into more detail, or if you think of any questions, you know, next time, then I'll be more than happy to go over it with you.
I just have one question. When Sheena gets handed a file, we can create her as a contact in the system, right? I mean, it's all one login, which is Marcus Hines. So she would just be created. We would just type her in as the TC and put in her email. There's no need to create like another login for her, right?
Exactly. SkySlope does charge every 10 agents. So we want to keep it however his agreement is set up. So she will be logging under Marcus Hines. And that's why I always add myself to the miscellaneous contacts. So if I need to send myself something, it auto populates in there, and I don't have to retype my email address every single time.
Right.
So now when she's set up and she's coordinating a file, we will need to go in and create her own template list, so that way it comes to her email. So it's something we can rename. We can put, you know, Sheena's pending task list, and then we can generate a whole new task list, and then that way I can make it to where it automatically goes to her emails for any transaction that she is coordinating.
Okay. That sounds good. Let me pause my recording.